to our friends in the fourth estate. And that is why we have invited many of you. And I want to start my comments or remarks, first of all, by appreciating you for coming, and particularly the county office, the governor's office, that has coordinated all of you to have been able to come here. I think when you got the invitation or you got to hear, you then asked the question, what am I here, what am I going to the Kitale Polytechnic today to do? Or what are you here for this morning? We are here, like Davin said, for one major mission: to announce and inform the world and all our stakeholders here in Nzoia, North Rift, and the entire country of Kenya, and even to the neighboring countries, that on 16th and 17th of August, all roads will be leading to Kitale, the Kitale National Polytechnic. For what? For the 2018 EAGC Agribusiness Expo. That is the message that we want you to pass, so that the farmers know, the potential exhibitors, the stakeholders, policymakers, all interested parties, including even our lecturer who has also decided he's an interested party, to come so that they know and they can come. But then, what will they be coming here to do on the 16th and 17th? I think Davin also explained that very, very, very well. They will be coming for the Agribusiness Expo. It is an expo that will have a lot to be shown, a lot to be exhibited. We will have several sections of exhibition. We will have the crop demonstration site, where many seed companies are already working with us, and they have put up many hundreds of demo plots with a whole range of crops and cereal crops and vegetables and all that we'll be showing. The seed companies will be here to tell us, these are the new technologies we've developed, this is where they are suited, this is how you do, this is the yield you get, so that that information goes out and the farmers can get to know. We will have exhibitors also in the main field here who will be carrying their own other technologies and solutions and products. Some will be in the post-harvest, others in value addition, others in mechanization. We will have many, they will all be here. We will also have a livestock section, and I want to encourage the gentleman from livestock to feel encouraged to know that we can do it, and we'll be able to work together to do it, so that people can see. And livestock is of great importance to us in the grain sector, because we use grains to feed livestock. So when you want to produce milk, when you want to produce poultry, when you want to rear your piggery, when you want to do your fishlings, all this, their basic food is formulated from grains, from maize, from cotton seed, from sunflower seed, from all those other crops that the animal feed manufacturers assemble together and manufacture to feed, so that we can get our livestock production meeting our demands. So we will be also doing quite a lot on that in the section of livestock. So there's a lot in store that we've prepared that we will showcase on 16th and 17th. We'll have seeds, we'll have fertilizers, pesticide, mechanization, post-harvest technologies. A lot will be there in stock. And one might ask, how is it of interest to me? And who are we really targeting to communicate and to engage with? We're looking at all the stakeholders in the grain value chain. We're looking at farmers, and farmers will come. Davina said we are targeting to bring more than 10,000 farmers from this region and beyond. Why will they be coming? Because they are farmers of cereals and grains, they are livestock producers, they are dairy producers, and because they, as farmers, they have challenges. So they will be coming here at the Kitale National Polytechnic to learn, to see what can they do to increase their production, what can they do to increase their productivity, what can they do to reduce their unit costs, what can they do to become competitive. And we say this in the context of the fact that we are in a global village. Globalization years back used to be a terminology, a long terminology. Today is a reality. Climate change used to be a concept in the past. Today is a reality. We are facing this every single day. A farmer in Kitale or in Trans Nzoia or in Uasin Gishu is not competing with his neighbor farmer when they are producing their grains or cereals. They are competing with a farmer in Tanzania, another farmer in Uganda, another farmer in Mexico, another one in Canada, Australia, India. They are competing with farmers from all over the world. And the issue we have now is that if a farmer from another part of the world, from another region, can produce maize and offer that maize for sale to the market at equivalent of 1,000 Kenya shillings a bag and make a return, a profit out of it, what is that farmer doing to be able to do that the farmer here in Kenya cannot do? And that's a big question we need to ask. So the question is, and I have 4 big questions, maybe similar to the big 4 of the president, but these are my 4 big questions that I would like us to discuss this morning. Question 1, how comes that in Kenya we are not able to produce and sell grains competitively at prices that are better than what other people in other parts of the world are doing, and what can we do to reduce our cost of production? So cost of production, producing, is a big question. Question 1. Question 2, how can we reduce the losses that we incur after harvesting, post-harvest losses? Question 3, since the market forces of supply and demand determine prices, because a single farmer cannot determine their price. When you take your produce to the farmer, it's a market price that gives that. How the supply is, how the demand is. What can we do to ensure that we are profitable given the prices set by the market? Because the market will set the price. We will come with our produce that we have produced at our own cost. What can we do to ensure that the cost we've incurred versus the price we are getting from the market, we will be profitable? That's question 3. And question 4, and the last, is what can we do to attract more investments in agriculture and in agribusiness? Because if we don't get investments in agriculture and in agribusiness, then we will not be able to do it. So ladies and gentlemen, those questions are what we will be seeking to answer on the 16th and the 17th of August here at the Kitale National Polytechnic. We will be finding those answers to those questions. What can we do to reduce our production costs? Issues on inputs, on quality, on timeliness, on technology, innovation, mechanization, efficiency, how we can increase our various outputs. We'll be looking for those answers and we'll be providing those answers here. Questions on post-harvest loss, we'll be looking at handling, drying, shelling, storage, and the technologies around there, including some of the interventions that EAGC is doing through some of the lease hire services, where we have some of our members who are offering drying and shelling and all those kind of services on lease, so that you don't have to have invested or bought those equipment. Question 3 on pricing. We'll be looking and offering solutions on how we can utilize trade contracts, how we can utilize the trading platforms like the EAGC, GSOCO, online grain trading platforms, how we can have price discovery that is efficient, that is transparent, and how we can have structures in our trading. We'll be looking at those answers to answer our questions. Investments in agriculture. We will not invest in agriculture if there are no returns. So that's a beginning point. So the question is, if I invest in agriculture and in the agriculture value chain, what returns do I expect? So what do we do to get attractive returns on investments in agriculture and agribusiness? What can we do to have a predictable environment, a predictable policy and supportive policy environment that is conducive and that helps us as investors, and that we know that the rules, the regulations, the taxes and everything that is being applied in agriculture and agribusiness is not to stifle us, but to encourage us to produce more. Those are answers we'll be looking at through the engagements that we'll be having here. And I'd like to share one or two examples. Just recently, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics released the statistical report for last year. I don't know whether some of you have been able to see it. But something caught my eye in that report. In the agriculture sector, most of the subsectors declined. Tea declined, coffee declined, maize declined, wheat declined. Most of them declined, even dairy declined and livestock. But one sector did not decline. In fact, it grew by more than 33%, and that is the horticulture sector. So the question is, how can horticulture be growing and growing at those levels while the rest of the other sectors are not? So it tells me that there's something that we need to learn from the horticulture stakeholders. What is it that they are doing that we are not doing in our other sectors? Is it the policy environment? Do they depend on government for subsidies? I have never had one day subsidized fertilizer going to horticulture producers. Never had. But they are doing that. I have never had one day farmers of horticulture doing demonstration telling government to buy their cabbages and other produce. I have never seen. But their sector is growing by more than 33%. Why is that the case? I think we have questions and we have answers we need to find out, and we'll be looking at, is it policy? Is it because of the presence of government in some of these other sectors that things are going wrong? Is it that the policy environment, the regulations are wrong? I think these are things we'll be needing to address. Another example is on the maize prices. I think I don't want to talk much about that in terms of how do we set maize prices? How do we expect, what are the expectations? And do we expect the price in relation to our cost of production? Big question. Another example is the green grants. And we all heard, we read in the media about a lot of promotion. In fact, us as ENGC also promoted Pulse, and we continue to promote Pulses and green grams and all that. But here we are today. There were reports yesterday and the other day before in the newspaper that Dengu has been produced, green grams have been produced. There is a big bumper harvest, but that there is no market. And that the price that is being offered is not what farmers expected. The question we are asking is it really a problem, or is it an expectation issue? From where we sit, and we know from our basic education in economics, the forces of the market, supply and demand forces, determine price. So if we create a sudden glut in the market, all of us, everybody and my neighbor and their neighbors and cousins, we all produce one product, and it floods the market, what do you expect? The prices will crash. And then we start complaining and saying other things. That's not right. When you went to go to plant, you went to the farm to plant your seeds. And you plant and you wait to harvest. Did you have an idea where you will go to sell that produce? If you did not, then why should you be having issues with people? I was not with you when you were starting to plant. The better planning and when there is structured trading system is that before I go to put my seed in the soil, I know who I am going to sell to and for what price. At best, you try to nail a contract, have a trade contract, that you know that I have an off-taker who will take my produce when I'm finished producing on the agreed quantity, agreed quality, and agreed price. You have set the price right in advance. You don't have to sit to speculate, because you cannot do all those things. You can't be the farmer, the speculator, the transporter, the value adder. You can't be all these things. Choose your space and excel in your space. And so what we are saying at EAGC is that these challenges, we accept and we note and we see that they are challenges, but there are also opportunities for us to learn to do the right business in agribusiness, to learn to sign trade contracts, to learn to participate in structured markets, to learn to get to use market information and market intelligence when we are doing our investments. You need to study the market and understand and know how the price movements go and how everything to do with what is required in the market goes. So there is all that we will be engaging together going forward. And indeed, we believe as EHGC that although the problems are there, and there are many, the solutions are also there. And we only just need to get together to partner in patience and tell each other what is really realistic. Because when a politician stands up and announces to farmers and tells them that they will get 100 shillings per kilo of green plants with a straight face, how do you do that? You create expectations that are not realistic. You mislead people, and then thereafter you start saying and complaining. It is not correct. Let farmers be told the right information, that prices are set by the market forces of supply and demand, and that you need to know what enterprise you are going to choose that is suited to your area, to your agroecological zone. And we are partnering with government, with many other stakeholders to provide solutions. The Agribusiness Expo that will take place here on 16th and 17th is one such example of providing solutions to the challenges. Because at the expo, you'll be able to see technologies, you'll be able to see innovations, you'll be able to see how you can increase your production and how you can reduce your costs. Because we must reduce our costs if we are going to be competitive. At the expo, we'll be there at the EHGC and the rest of the other experts to train farmers about trade contracts and why it is important to use trade contracts. All other businesses in the world up in the value chain are on contract. Even those of you who are employed, you know you have an employment contract. You don't just do work and then after you finish the work, you start telling the boss, now, will you pay me or not pay me? And how much will you pay me? You have already agreed in advance. Is it not right? That's what we should do. And that's what should be applicable for all these activities that we are doing. So at EHGC, we are seeking these solutions. We are seeking partnerships to do them so that we're able to have transparent processes that can guarantee performance of counterparties, processes where we can even get much more forward contracts being done, utilizing technologies like warehousing and warehouse receipting and certification of warehouses, so that when you have a produce that you have produced a lot, you can store from one season to the other. Because that's the other interesting thing with what is in the media now. People are complaining that there's a big harvest. And yet just last year, a few months ago, we were suffering a drought. If we had done good warehousing and storage of our food, we would not have had a problem. So why should we complain? Let's warehouse this produce well. Put it in certified warehouses, store it professionally, fumigate it, ensure, or use technologies like the hermetic technologies that you don't need to put a single dot of chemicals in it. Because it's hermetic, it uses the oxygen suffocation principle and keeps the product fresh. So solutions are there, and that's what we are trying to promote as EHGC, and that's why we even get the business-to-business meetings that happen, and we'll be also hosting here at the expo. That's why we provide market information through our Regional Agriculture Trade Intelligence Network. You can find it in the web and you can subscribe on the phone. And that's why we are doing training and a lot of capacity building of our farmers, of our stakeholders, to understand structured trade, to understand agribusiness, and to do the right things. And that's also why we are very much involved in policy advocacy work. That's why at EHGC we are doing policy analysis, we are doing policy research, we are doing briefings, we are engaging on policy dialogues and getting the views of the members and stakeholders so that we can present this to the policymakers and be part and parcel of the processes of setting policies that are supportive to agriculture. And that's why EHGC, every 2 years, we host the Africa Great Trade Summit. It just took place last year in October in Dar es Salaam, and next year we'll be having the other one. And that's also, we also do the Agribusiness Expos every year. Just Friday and Saturday, yesterday and the day before, EAGC hosted an agribusiness expo like this one we are planning to host. We hosted it in Uganda, in Masindi. It was extremely successful. Farmers were there, exhibitors were there. And in July, we'll be having another one in Arusha, another expo, before we do the one in Kenya here in August, because we are all in a region, we're integrated in the region, and like I started with my comments, the farmer in Kitale or in Kenya is not competing with his neighbor, but is competing with other farmers in the world and must be the best of the best that there is in the world. And that's a challenge that we must address. And with those very, very many remarks, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we're hoping that you, members of the media, will pass on this information. You will let the world know that on 16th and 17th, all roads lead to where? To Kitale National Polytechnic for the EAGC 2018 Agribusiness Expo. Thank you very much. You're all most welcome, and we'll continue engaging.